morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good day, depending on where you are joining from. If you can hear me, just write something in the Q&A section, or you know use an emoji to say hi. Can you hear me? Say hi. Let me see if I get. Okay, hi Philip. Oh, good Sunday. Oh, this is awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to day one of the Cohort 6 induction. Welcome. It's good to have everyone here. It's morning here in Lagos, Nigeria. So it's good to have everyone here this morning. Okay. All right. I hope we're ready. We're prepared. I know we're so excited. I've seen a lot of comments from the Slack session, the Slack channel rather. We have a lot of people excited to join this section. There's so many questions, and you'll get everything answered, in the next few days. All right, to introduce us into the program, so we know everything the program is about. For those of us that have been asking questions, I will be handing the mic to OJ. Hello, OJ.
Hi, Bolanle. Thank you for that. So here we go. Good morning and good everything wherever you guys are. It's a pleasure to have you guys at this induction session. My name is Oji Adekoya. I lead the technology function at Secure Intelligence Limited. Firstly, Secure Intelligence Limited is a technology consulting outfit. What we do is essentially help people that have got amazing ideas bring these ideas to life. Also, we're an AWS partner in terms of delivering services. We are also a Google partner, a Microsoft partner. We also do a lot of training through our CIL Academy program. The program that we're running today is called Zero to Techie. The Zero to Techie program is the biggest thing we do in CIL Academy at the moment. We take people that have an interest in various areas of technology, and we take them through a very detailed learning experience and try to get them into employable skill sets. We try to get them to have employable skill sets. Now, there are things that I usually say at the start of these programs that most people don't pay attention to, but I will repeat them nonetheless because I think eventually it starts to become valuable, or it starts to become useful information to people if they remember. Firstly, this is a very intensive program. It is not one of those laid back, sit down, chill kind of programs that you might find out there. It is extremely intensive. It does not, if you don't give to the program will not give back to you. That's the first thing to say. Second thing that I like to be very clear on is a lot of you are not you're not exactly starting out in your tech career. Some of you are looking for opportunities to work on projects, opportunities to actually, drill down, do a bit more learning. This program might not be a perfect fit at the start because we like I said earlier, we focus on those people that have zero knowledge, right? And we take them on that journey. So sometimes you will find out that we're going through things that you might know already. You might know already, but might not know so well. You might know already, you might even know much better, right? So for those of you that want to go through the program, you'll have to be patient if you already have certain knowledge. But if you don't, right, I would say everything is going to be exciting and everything is going to be new. But for those of you that do have the some basic knowledge of some of the lessons or learnings that we'll be having, I would advise you guys to just go through the program nonetheless, because it helps you unlock, the specialist areas that you might have missed, and it helps reinforce whatever you already know. The next thing I want to say is this is our final unpaid version of this program. So for those of you in cohort 6, this is the final time we're offering this without charging a fee for it. So all the previous programs that we've run, nobody has had to pay. There is a cost if you want to take certification exams that we discount for you because it's not ours. But everything we've done to date and for cohort 6 is essentially free. This will be the final time we'll be offering the program for free. Now, typically what we find is some people drop off and then they join the next cohort. So I would really strongly encourage everybody in cohort. I would strongly encourage everybody in cohort 6 to do their best to complete the program, because if you have to drop off and come back in cohort 7 will be a paid program. The next thing, and I think the big part of this is I want to explain how the Zero to Techie programs fit within the CIL secure intelligence ecosystem. So on the next slide, what you will see here is how CIL operates. So as an organization, we started these programs because we were looking for talent and we struggled to find talent in the market. So there were a lot of people we interviewed, we even hired, and we realized very quickly that they did not have the baseline skills that we expected them to have in a lot of our spaces: cloud engineering, front-end engineering, business analysis, user experience design. And so we took a step back and we created a program that would allow us to bring in people through all of those, through that process. And that's why our organization has 2 sides to it. One is the CIL Academy, where we develop competent talent, and the other is CIL Teams, where we actually serve our customers. CIL Teams essentially serve customers in a lot of ways. We build products, we do cloud migrations, we do assessments. There's a massive range of consulting, delivery, and managed services that we offer via CIL. But within CIL Academy, we focus on training people. So, like I said, this program you guys are joining right now is the Zero to Techie program, and the Zero to Techie program is just one of those many training programs that we offer in CIL. So, for some of you that are far more advanced than Zero to Techie, you might be looking at other programs that we offer. Some CSP trainings, specialized trainings on AWS or in certain other domains, and that might be something you want to have a chat with our CIL Academy teams around. But this program is focused on the guys that have no skill whatsoever in tech, that have not been in the tech space and are looking to cross into tech. Now, at the end of this program, what we do typically as CIL. Hi guys, can anyone still hear me? I think you guys, I probably lost you guys for a bit there. Okay, thank you. And I'm not so sure what the last thing you guys heard was before the network dropped, because I just kept going on and on. Can anyone sort of just give me an idea of what the last thing you heard was? Okay, so I'm going to repeat a few things that I said earlier, just to ensure that, if I've missed anything, you guys haven't missed that. So I'm going to just repeat some of the points that I made earlier. So first point is that the Zero to Techie program focuses primarily on guys or people that do not have technical skills or expertise. So you're starting out from day one. So this is your first foray into tech, and you probably don't even know what an operating system is. So this takes you from total ground zero and ensures that you have skills and competence towards the end of it. I mentioned that this program is currently a free program. The only time that you might have to pay is for your certification exams, which we will discount also. And this is because that does not come from us. So you would get discount offers to help you pay for those certification exams. But this is the final cohort that is free. So I encourage everybody that is part of this, that makes it into this cohort, to do their best to complete this program, as opposed to what we've always had before, where if you drop off from one cohort, you're able to join the next cohort. You will be able to, but the subsequent cohorts will be paid programs. And I also mentioned that towards the end of the program, we will be taking on some staff, like we always do. We take on some staff from this program. Also, our partners and other organizations we work with, they also, we work with them, and they also hire from within our program. So it is important that you stay to the end. And I think the point I was going to get to before I realized that I was offline is there's a unique thing about our own program, which you might not find in a lot of places if and when you enroll into our program, specifically the Zero to Techie program. It consists of 8 modules that you take over a 6-month period. If you do not pass module 1 or complete module 1 and all the prerequisites for module 1, you will not be advanced to module 2. Same thing to module 3 and to 4. So we find that a lot of people come in with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, and then they fade as we go. I would strongly encourage you to keep your enthusiasm, keep your energy levels throughout the program. And sometimes the reason for this, some people think they can go off and then come back maybe 2 months after and just pick up and go. We don't do that within the Zero to Techie program. The Zero to Techie program is very intensive. As we proceed in the program, we build on the knowledge from previous modules. So without a validation that the knowledge from previous modules exists, or have been acquired, it makes it very difficult to add more skill or more concepts into our learning materials. For those of you that get to, I think it's about module 3 or 4, you will start to get access to cloud environments. And one of the reasons we do this is because we know that a lot of people from the environments that we serve, from the localities that we serve, might not be able to register for these cloud environments themselves, or they might need more resources than the free tier that is offered by most of the cloud service providers to practice what they're learning. So we offer that, but we don't offer that at the beginning. It's more when we get to the point where we feel they now have the skills and they have the abilities to create resources and manage those resources, and then we take you further from there. So a lot of things don't happen at the very beginning. At the very beginning, you will go into very basic concepts, starting concepts that are to ensure that you're well grounded, right, going forward. I believe you guys can still hear me, so I'm just going to continue. I will be happy to take a few questions right before my session is over. So if you guys have questions about CIL as a company, questions about the Zero to Techie program itself, there's another session that follows that talks about the curriculum of the program. So I won't bother answering those questions. I'll just say wait until that session. But if you have questions around secure intelligence as an organization, or the CIL Academy Zero to Techie program, please put your questions in the Q&A section. I will pick them up, or they'll be read out, and then I'll be able to answer them, or assign one of the team members to give you answers. Benefits of the program. Well, the benefits of the program is we enable people that are looking to become knowledgeable in a particular specialty to get that skill, not just from a theoretical point of view, but from a competence and practical point of view. You can actually do the work. The program, like I said, is intensive. It is a lot of theory, but also a lot of practical work that you get to do as you gain those skills. We also, like I said, we work with a few partners to try to get people that come through our programs jobs. We also hire our engineering talent directly from this program. So all our junior engineers within CIL all come through the CIL Academy because we trust what we do within the programs. Talking about specialist training. So, like I said, CIL offers a lot of specialist training. So some people are far more advanced than zero to techie. So you might want to go for machine learning specialty programs that we offer, or you might want to learn a bit more around blockchain, or you might want to learn a bit more around other specialties. So we've got a website that I believe will be shared with you in the Slack channel, and you can see all the other programs. I have a question here that says, do we have offices in South Africa? No, not at the moment, but we do serve students and customers across the globe. So it's not just Africa, but we have customers across the world, and we serve them from various locations. The bulk of our staff work remotely. A few times we were in offices, but most of the work we do as an organization is remotely. Well, in terms of the costs for the certifications that the data engineering people might acquire, I'd expect you would have the foundational certifications around cloud. There will be a bit more around the architecture. I'd leave this to the academy to share the details, but as you progress, when you get to the final stages of the program, depending on how much you've absorbed, you might be able to take on additional data engineering certifications. For example, the AWS data analytics or database specialty, or the machine learning specialty. Those are all in and around the data engineering space, but that depends on how much knowledge, and I'd strongly recommend a lot of experience before taking on some of those specialty ones. For the certification exams, we typically discount them between, I think, 40 to 60%. It depends on the certification, but what you'll get out there for the full certification price, we sort of have conversations with the providers, and we try to get significant discounts on those certifications. When are you tested on the content in the modules? I think as you go through the modules, you'll be given, some will have quizzes, some will have assignments, some will have activities that you're expected to work through. We also have instructor sessions where your instructors might ask you to do certain things, or to provide additional clarifications on topics that you need. So as you go through, it's not the kind of formal exams that you do. We expect that the certifications you get to do at some point, the projects that you get to do at some point, right, will validate your knowledge. What is the requirement for being absorbed by CIL or by partners? So firstly, you complete the program. That is one. Then it's on a needs basis for us. We want the most committed. We want the people that drive, that will give us the best of themselves. So if you can, at the end of this program, you will get Credly certifications, but not everybody will get it, right? So we can have 1,000 people start the program, only those that complete the program, and we can put our badge and say, these guys completed our program, and we can validate that they do have the requisite knowledge. Those are the ones that will get the badge. Now, those are the only ones also that we would consider for employment by CIL, or offer employment opportunities with our partners. Who's the CEO of CIL Academy and the body in general? From a academy total point of view, lead Omobolanle Ogunleye, who is also the program. She runs CIL Academy holistically, but the head of faculty in terms of the technical content is Blessing Udoisang. We will be taking the next session after this. Can you run through the program without a laptop? The answer, honestly, is no. You would need a laptop because there's so much. You're limited significantly by the screen size, device size when you start to do certain things. Is the product or project management course part of this cohort? No. This cohort, I believe, is only focused on cloud and data engineering. Someone asked the question, how many hours is ideal to survive in the program? I won't use the word survive. I would say commit. If you can put in between 3 and 5 hours, commit that for every work day. Put in a few hours on the weekend for a 6-month period. I want to believe that you will come out far better than you think you could ever, become. You will have so much skill, so much knowledge that you will have the confidence and the competence to take on roles within the field in real life, like take on proper jobs. Before registering for a certification exam, do we do test preps? Are the modules downloadable? So most of the content that you will consume will be on our learning management system, on our LMS portal. I don't think that a lot of things there are downloadable, but there's a lot of content that you will be able to sort of go back to over and over again. Do you do test preps? I don't think the answer is yes or no. There are a lot of materials that we offer that would help you with preparing for the exam and the certifications. I would leave the cost of the certification. I'd say maybe Bolanle will come back to you guys on that, the likely cost, because I can understand that if few of you are asking the same question, you want to be able to prepare, start saving towards that. I'll leave that to Bolanle to come back to you maybe in one of the sessions this week to provide ballpark figures that you might be getting to. Is the specialty training free, like Zero to Techie? If you go to our CIL Academy website or microsite on our website, there are a lot of courses that we have there. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. So there's a healthy mix there for you. It depends on the specialty you're looking for, the knowledge you're looking to acquire. But I'd say go through that and then reach out to the team to let them know what you're interested in. What happens if we eventually miss a live session? Do we get to receive the recorded sessions in case we miss the live sessions? There are very few sessions that we record in as part of the program. So the expectation is that you are able to make most of the live sessions. I don't expect that you would make all of the live instructor classes, but everything we do this week, we expect you to be part of it because we're going to lay out the entire program. Question around, are we going to be specializing only in AWS? No, we will be focusing majorly on AWS at some point. But what we try to do is give you a wide knowledge base for you to be effective in the workplace. So the knowledge is going to be across Google, Azure, and AWS. But at some point, we will focus primarily on AWS. But we ensure that you can translate this knowledge across the cloud service providers. I am out of time. I know that there's still a lot of questions there, and I'm hoping that the team will have captured all of the questions and will hopefully at some point publish an FAQ of sorts so that you guys are able to get the answers that you need.
All right. Thank you very much, OJ, for that session.
Sorry, can I just answer one more question? Because I just saw a question now. I saw that you are based in Nigeria. Does that mean only Nigerians have a chance at getting jobs after? Absolutely not. So we're not just based in Nigeria. We're based in a number of places across Africa and outside Africa. The African operations is led out of Nigeria, and we have staff not just in Nigeria. Cool. So the answer is no. So it's not. Let me simple answer is no. We hire from across Africa, not just Africa. We have people outside Africa too. So, but it's not limited to just Nigerians. And we have staff across Africa now, so it's not just Nigerians.
Okay. Thank you very much, OJ. I know everyone has questions. It's normal. That's why we're having this session. We'll have a Q&A session immediately after the next session. So we will take a bit of time to answer. And in the course of the week, you would see that most of your questions are being answered. We have curated this section to ensure this program to ensure that we bring you up to speed on everything you need to know to commence the program. So I know you have so many questions, you are curious, you want to get all the answers. Be patient, you will get your answers. So even if your questions are not answered today, in the course of the week, you will definitely get your answers. All right, not to take any more of our time, we'll be moving to the next session with Blessing Udoisang, the head of the faculty for CIL Academy. Hi, Blessing. Can you hear me? Okay, while we're waiting for Blessing to join us fully, I believe he's trying to join. I will be taking some of the questions. Let me take the most recent question. Can one commit while still working 8 to 5 p.m.? I think it's about time management, your ability to, plan your time. It's you understanding the session. All right, Blessing. It's good to have you here. I can see you, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Indeed, I can hear you.
All right, awesome.
Is it nice, better?
Yes, I can hear you. All right, I believe it's time for you to take us through the curriculum and what is expected. This will answer some of their questions on commitment and specialization and some other things. All right, Blessing.
Okay, so I'm just trying to set up a series of computers around here so we can have redundancy if I do get disconnected. Fingers crossed I won't be disconnected, but if I do get disconnected, the earlier you let me know, the better. So Bolanle, how many slides have we got here on this session? How many?
Let me confirm that.
Because I want to do more talking of the slide than on them.
Well, that's
most of you would. Yeah, how many?
That's perfect. We have just one slide, basically just to show the picture of what we have. And I know it's going to be more engaging than slide presentation.
I like that. Flip to that slide, please.
Okay, next slide. We'd like to get the full slide view.
Get the full slide view. Exactly. That's it. So those of you attending, I'm going to do introductions and so on. You probably would have worked out now that I'm not here to sell you slides, right? I'm here to talk to you, and I want you to talk to me. So I'll probably speed this up, go very fast, slow down. It all depends on what you're telling me. Okay. Right. Looks like we've got the full view. It's a lovely slide. Thank you very much. How do I get the chat window? My very favorite place. Q&A.
Q&A, yes.
Let's see. I live for the comments. How many of you ever been on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and you're reading comments? I know you. Don't pretend. This is it. We're going for the comment section. There we go. Scroll down to the last one. And that was from Osasere, who said, I can't hear you. And then I think says, I can hear you now. Okay. Fabulous. So Bolanle, is it ordered from the top or the bottom? I need to place it where it is. I know the latest one I'm taking. Let me see. 1002, 1003. Yep, I think it's from the bottom. Okay, there are so many questions streaming in. So if I don't get to your question, please do bear with us. We go through all the questions and we try to answer them during the week. So if I don't get through to your own question, just please do forgive and bear with us. We'll get to it at some point. A friend of mine is asking if they can still join. Bolanle, give me an answer on that, please. Can people still join us of today?
No.
Okay, answer is no to Chukwu Jeku Okudu. No, it's closed for joining, so they should target cohort 7. Whoever is controlling the slides for me, please just keep it on that full view where it was and don't change anything, okay? I'm going to take it from there. So once again, excited to meet every one of you. Some of you today, you probably have met me already. And for those that have not met me already, we'll begin a fantastic journey. You're going to get kind of used to seeing me, hating me, loving me, all emotions welcome, as long as you get to the other side of the program and you are either a cloud engineer or data engineer. That's all I want from you. Okay. So keep the focus. I'll break this down. What we want to do is pretty simple, but the real work, the secret sauce is in what you are going to be doing. So listen, don't panic, don't be overwhelmed, just understand and let's get on the journey. It is going to be a journey, I promise you. Okay. So once again, my name is Blessing Udoisang. For those of you who live in Nigeria, when I say Akwa Ibom Ayaya, you know where we're talking about. I lead the engineering function within secure intelligence, and also I'm head of faculty within the academy. So I'm going to be the one kind of saying to you guys, these are the set of things you'll be learning now, and these are the set of things you need to learn tomorrow. It's a very adaptive program I run. So I'm looking at the pace of the class. So everyone in the class gets to talk to me, and you get this as you come along. I listen to all of the students. I know the pace you're going, and I kind of adapt the curriculum to flow, because I'm always going to move at the pace. Okay, hopefully I'm back in and I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Right. It's yeah, it's not one of those great days for the internet. Well, we will get through it. It's if we're starting with challenges early, I'm hoping that as we go through the program, the challenges are reducing. Okay. Fantastic. So I don't know what was the last thing you heard from me, but just to recap, I was saying that within the class, I would go at the pace of the slowest students while I encourage everyone to pick up pace. Okay. This is why you heard Oji said, for some of you, it might be boring at some point, but you have to keep up, because we're not going to nobody's going to be left behind at the beginning. We're trying to carry everybody along. So those first set of modules might feel like, oh, I know all of these things, but then it's rather important that you pay attention to those things, because by the time we get to the higher module, we're going to rely on the knowledge that you've picked up from those early ones. Okay, so if I can get this slide back to the full view, please, Bolanle, let me just cover it off and go into some detail. The current cohort covers cloud and data engineering. We had aimed to cover more, but sadly, we've not been able to do that. In cohort 7, we probably would try and do that, but we're still doing just cloud and data engineering. And there'll be 3 stages that you go through, and you get a sense of this as you travel across the program: the basic, the intermediate, and the advanced stages. Okay, and that will apply to both cloud and data engineering. In the first set of modules, you would find that you'll be learning almost similar things. Okay, experience has kind of showed me that the knowledge base for a cloud engineer and a data engineer are that much similar. There's a lot of overlaps. Okay, it's when you start to apply that knowledge, that's where the differences start to creep in. Okay, you have the cloud engineer applying those knowledges in slightly different way, and you have the data engineer applying them in slightly different way, and then they start to get their different tool sets. Okay, you start to get the data engineer talking about their Jupyter notebooks and all their machine learning tools and algorithms and stuff, and you get the cloud engineers talking about their infrastructure as code, their APIs and all those good stuff. So it's at that level that you start to get the differences. So at the very beginning, you get those basic and fundamentals where everyone is almost learning the same thing. I would appreciate if this slide can just stay and not get moved, because I don't know if it's me, but it gets moving. So just keep it focused and don't move it across. Okay. Within the program itself, we aim to complete everything within 6 months. Okay. And that gives us about 3 weeks, I believe, for each module. And there are about 8 modules all through the program. Okay. I will break down what you're likely to get in each of the module. in module 1, we're looking at basics, fundamentals, foundations, whatever you want to call it. Is at this stage we're thinking of things like fundamentals of networking, what OSI layer is, what does that mean to you? You're talking about things like HTML, web basics, JavaScript, okay? You're talking about things like Bash, shell programming, PowerShell, all those basic stuff that most of us already should know, but we kind of bring them in so that if you don't, you get to know them, and if you already know them, you brush up on that. Then we go to module 2, where we're looking at cloud computing fundamentals. So in module 1, we're not really talking much about the cloud, right? Module 2, we start to get into it. And then we talk about programming languages that we can use in the cloud. And whilst there are many of them, the most popular of all remains Python. So as part of the program, you would be required to get some very, very good basic, fundamental, foundational knowledge of Python programming. Okay, I'm seeing hands go up, so I'm going to pause briefly on those two and just see if I can take a few questions before I go on to what you get in module 3. A lot of questions about links. Are links still open for registration? No, you hear. No new person can register, but try and attend the entire week, okay? Okay, if this cohort is fully focused on cloud and data engineering and is free, what happens to anyone interested in the other courses? It's a very good question. I would say join the next cohort when we do launch it, and if it's got the other courses that you're interested within, okay? Don't worry too much about is it going to be costly or not. We are not looking to make millions out of CIL Academy, okay? We're looking to fund the training, and we'll always have ways to carry people along, okay? There is a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of finance already being spent, even as I'm here talking to you, okay? So I would say for any one of you on this program kind of thinking, whether this one or the next one, and the first thing on your mind is the money, I would say keep the money aside, okay? I've seen people who had money and they went nowhere, okay? There are problems money cannot solve, okay? So the money shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, okay? Just think first of all about, is the program I'm interested in, is it going to be on offer? So I believe in the next module, in the next cohort, cohort 7, I think we're going to be having front-end engineering there. I think we'll be having product management and so on. I think even business analyst, I'm not sure now. But if, when it gets advertised, please join the Slack channel, because that's where you would see the announcement. So when it gets announced, if the thing you're interested in is there, get on board, okay? Get on board. Finance would sort itself, okay? Don't make that the thing that limits you, okay? There's a question about
I'm not sure I can hear you, Blessing. Okay.
right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm on a redundant channel. Hold on. I don't trust that one, so I'm going to go back to the main one in a second. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Right. I'm going to have to check which of the channels is echoing, because one of them is echoing to me. Okay. This is the funny thing. I made so much preparation and bought out exclusive internet access for this program, and yet here I am. You can't beat technology. Okay. I was just taking some questions before I had that problem, and now I'll keep the 2 channels I have running. So if one just goes off, I'll switch quicker to the other one. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, because there's so much response going. Oh, we can't hear you. I'm scrolling so far down to even be able to find any question. Okay, so I'm at the last question now, which is, our link still open for registration, which I believe I've answered. Okay, right. I'll keep my eyes on the questions again and just pick up if there's any further question coming through.
Blessing, there have been some questions coming in.
There?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them on my end. The last question I have on my end is Oh, okay, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
Bear with me. Yeah, they're just coming on this end now. Okay, 1 second. Yes, I've got that. Is it the same time every day for the week? So the timetable should be published at some point. Okay, so don't worry about timing. I would skip that quickly. You get the timetable published. It should also be in your email invite anyway. The time for each day. How much is the certification examination amount? So for this, so Bolanle, if you can get someone to just take some of this and do an FAQ for me, which I can just point people to, it's going to be a live FAQ. They can just go and be reading answers to some of these questions. So over the next few days, there are some questions I'll just be saying to people, go to the FAQ. Okay, this is one of them. How much is the certification exam worth? Okay, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, GCP, they are the three we're looking at. All their certification costs are published on their websites. So we'll put the links in the answers there so people can just go and look at it. Okay. We don't run exams and we don't bill anyone for exams. We can work with these people and give you discounted vouchers, which is how we help you. So if say Azure is selling their voucher, say $100, we might be able to get you for maybe less than that. Okay, but we don't. So if you want to know the actual cost, you need to look at those providers' pages. So put that in the FAQ so I can just direct people to go there rather than answer them each day. There's a lot of questions on that. How many months is the program? It's meant to be 6 months, okay? Plus or minus holidays and events happening. We are very adaptive. We're going to look at your progress, okay? If we need to extend certain things for you, we'll do that extension, okay? But formally speaking, okay, if someone was interviewing me from CNN or the BBC, I would say it's a 6 months program. That's what we attempt to go to, okay? 6 months from today, I shall be bound and clapping for the cloud and data engineers of the future, okay? When are we having back-end engineering track? Okay, we would look at that and we'll try to work out if it's something that we want to put out there in the academy. When people talk about backend engineering, it's quite a diverse ask. So we'll put that in the back burner and we can talk about that at some other points. What's the rate of job offers for cloud engineers? I would ask Victor, I'll ask you to do a bit of research on that, because even if I tell you, I'll be doing you an advert. I'm not good at advertisements. So do your research. If what you find out is good, come along with me. Let's go get it. If it's not good enough, then at least you lose nothing. Okay. What's the mode of learning? Is it peer-driven? Will we be engaged by tutors? Aside Slack, is there any sort of intranet or project submission? Okay, I'll take that. Can we see the curriculum or perhaps download the PDF? I'll take that too. So I'll take those 2 questions and then I'll go back to telling you what the modules are, and then I'll come back for more. Mode of learning is a lot of it, about say 70 to 80% is self-directed learning. So you have to be able to learn on your own. The other percentage of that is instructor-led. Okay, so we are going to provide you live sessions over and above the things that we've asked you to go and learn. So there's a curriculum saying, go and learn the following things. And as you're learning those things, we're running live sessions for you to cement that knowledge, to take your questions and answers, and to help you get more understanding of what you're learning. Okay, there is also the ability for you to form groups within your cohort. So there are people within this cohort that are a bit ahead of others that they can also share. So that's been happening in the current cohort, where people that have learned a few things are sharing. Even those that are not ahead of others, those that have just learned something new, you're going to find out that by sharing things with people, it makes you understand those things even better. So there is the student forum to where the sharing is going on. Okay. And lastly, we also have student advocates that kind of try to keep you encouraged in your learning. So there's a whole lot of things that we do, and I call it a blended learning approach. But I would say it again, the majority of work is on you. Okay. The curriculum, you are going to see the curriculum when we resume. So the whole of this week is induction. I'm telling you everything that you're going to cover from a broad level. But as you start to resume the courses, the curriculum will be open to you. You will see the title of the courses you're taking. You will take those courses on the learning management system. So we have a specific learning management system where you'll be registered on and you'll be taking the courses. And the instructor-led sessions will be organized on Google Meets, where you come in and you get your sessions with an instructor. Okay, so let's flip back to what I was talking about in terms of the modules. So I've covered module 1, which is basic fundamentals. Module 2 was cloud computing fundamentals and programming, wherein we focus on Python. In module 3, we'll start looking at practitioner certification. So we're expecting your first professional certification, if you've not had one already, happens in module 3. So you're looking at that in how many weeks' time? 9 weeks' time. So within the first 9 weeks of this program, you should be having either the Amazon Cloud Practitioner or the Azure Foundation or one of the Google Leader certifications. So we would expect you to have at least one of that at the end of module 3. So module 3, there's a big push and focus on how you prepare for those certifications, okay? We'll give you all 3 cloud service providers, the major ones. There are more than 3, obviously, right? But the major ones, Amazon, Azure, which is Microsoft, and Google Cloud. So we'll expose you to all 3 of them with sufficient knowledge enough to be able to write one of their foundational certifications. We'll also make sure that we get those discounted vouchers for you. So when you go and look at whatever the cost is of those certifications today, don't worry too much about what the full cost is, because we'll try and get you discounts so that you'll be able to take at least one of them, okay? Module 4 is where we start talking about how you can start your hands-on practice. All the major cloud providers will allow you to have a free tier account, okay? So you can go and do hands-on practice. So we'll teach you how to create a free tier account on each of the 3 cloud service providers. We'll also show you how you can access them. So there are fundamental ways you can interact with the cloud service providers. You can interact using the web browser, using a command line interface, using software development kits, and also using API. We would introduce you to all these access methods across the 3 major cloud service providers, okay? And then we'll give you loads of resources that you can bookmark and study for more details on those things. Then we get into module 5. As at module 5, we're then going to drop Azure and we'll drop Google Cloud. We'll focus deeply into AWS. The reason we do that is because if you try to carry all 3 of them along in a 0 to Techie program, it's not possible, okay? My job here is to be realistic. When I set the goal for this program, we talk about SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, okay? It has to be a realistic and achievable goal. So as at module 5, we'll go deep down AWS, and we don't carry the others along anymore. We'll still refer to them. So if we're doing stuff on AWS, we can say to you, in Azure, this is what it will work like, okay? DynamoDB, AWS, Azure, check out Cosmos. Things like that we'll talk about, but we'll drill deep down into AWS. And in module 5, we'll be covering compute, storage, database, okay? These are the fundamental building blocks. So once you've got your compute, storage, database, you're starting to build stuff on the cloud. That leads you nicely into module 6, where we'll start to cover networking, which is also a fundamental block of the cloud. So compute, storage, database, networking, you might have heard about all of this, okay? But we don't fit them all in one module. We fit compute, storage, and database in module 5, and in module 6, we do networking, security, and then we start to specialize in data engineering tools and analytics. So for those of you that are on the data engineering track, you start to go deep down into your tools that you'll be using for your practice, okay? Then as that same module 6, we have what we call a checkpoint, which is a cohort project, right? You are not going to finish this program without delivering a major project. Anyone that has been on the previous program, for some of us on the call that probably had attended previously, you might have heard about this. Yes, there will be a major project that you all deliver. And in that project, you work as a team. It will be a real life project, okay? So at that checkpoint in module 6, we start to talk about the project, we initiate it, we plan it out, and you start to understand what it's going to look like. I actually forgot to mention, as of module 5, when we're going to compute, storage, and database, we also give you access to our own AWS accounts so you can start to play. Okay, you will find that a lot of you will struggle to create an account, but we will give you access to ours. It does mean that you avoid the cost, you avoid the stress of creating yours. You just come and experiment, get hands-on experience, and we'll pay for the cost of that, right? So this is why we're starting to talk about the cost of this program. And it's not today, maybe as we go through the week, those of you that hang around with me, I might give you some numbers that tells you how much we spend running this program. It is not cheap at all. So come along with us. Module 6, I just covered network security, data engineering tools and analytics. By the time we get to module 7, we break that into 2 parts again. Don't forget, as of module 6, you now know your project. You kind of have a sense of what that project is going to be. Okay. In module 7, half of it, we're now looking at DevSecOps, development, security operations. So things like ITIL, IT service management, change management, product management, things like your security operations. We're looking at all those things in module 7. And then we're looking at cost management. Okay. And for those of us in the data engineering track, is the first time we start to talk about machine learning. Am I speaking to me? No. All right, I'll carry on. So module 7, we'll look at DevSecOps, operations and cost management. And for data engineering, we'll look at machine learning. Okay. The second part of module 7 is where you start the project. Module 6, we talked about it, we initiate it. Second part of module 7, you start to work on it. Okay. And then module 8, you go full-blown project. Okay. At this point, we're now looking to you and kind of going, I've lost connectivity on both sides. Oh, goodness. No.
You're back.
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Ah, good. Right. Sorry about that. So I was saying in module 8, that's where you do your project full time. So we stand back and we let you do your things. As a module 8, you're not asking me any questions. I'm not answering any questions. Thank you very much. By then, your hands are solid enough. You're doing your stuff. And I'm sat down somewhere just sipping my coffee and waiting for you to come and present the amazing thing that you've created. And thereafter is where we're talking about employment, employability, and so on. So it's quite a packed program. The question is, can we, carry all that along as we go, right? I'll be always here. I'm a constant there. We're all here in the faculty to support you. But you can see from all I've called out so far, it's quite a packed program, and you will need to put in a lot of work. It's as you get to the higher modules, it gets even much pressingly difficult, because this is the first time we start to ask you to do things. And once you start to do things, you start to realize the frustration of being in a cloud. But then solving it gives you the joy and the skills you're looking for to then go and earn the pay that you want to get. So let me pick up a few more questions. What's the mode of learning? I've covered that already. Okay, that has been asked like 4 or 5 times. Can I get a link to the Slack channel? So Bolanle, if you put that in the FAQ, please. I'm interested in learning DevOps going forward, which I think cloud computing is very essential to achieving this. Yes, so DevOps, DevSecOps, it's a very small and fundamental aspect of the entire thing. So we'll cover that. In fact, not just theoretically, we're also covering that practically, because when you start to do your projects, you'll be practicing DevSecOps. And I'm telling you this, my faculty, we are very security strict. So you're going to find like the past cohort, they had this issue where they've created everything, but it wasn't working. Why? Because security controls will not let them deploy. So they had to go and fix all their security issues. Okay. So you see all these things hands-on, we're staring you in the face, and hopefully you conquer it. Okay. Mode of learning, I've answered this severally, so it keeps coming back up. We discovered data analysis. It will cover data analytics tools and techniques. Okay. We are not trying to get you deep dive into data analytics. Okay. We'll get you the fundamentals that you need to get enough to get into the industry and the role. And then thereafter, you can get more training once you get those fundamentals. Okay. I haven't heard so much on data engineering. That's from David Daniel. David Daniel, I do promise you, data engineering is well covered, right? From start to finish, there are checkpoints. And I mentioned this earlier to you. Experience has taught me that the knowledge space for both the cloud engineer and the data engineer is very much overlapped. Okay, so it is when you start to apply things out, that is when it starts to differ. So you literally can go from module 1 to module 8 as the cloud engineer and decide, you know what, I changed my mind, I want to do data engineering. And you just go and practice for 3 weeks and you're there because the knowledge space is there. So we have you covered in the fundamentals. We've got data engineering concept and approaches, roles, everything is there. Through this induction course, towards I think day 2 or 3, we'll be talking more about these things. Also, as we go in, if you remember, in module 5, I talked about data engineering concepts. In module 6, I talked about data engineering tools and analytics. In module 7, I talked about machine learning. So there's a whole lot of data engineering packed into the course or the program. Hopefully that answers your question, David. I can't see the program overview image as well as my notes. Yeah, this is why I wasn't too bothered about the slide, right? When I started this session, I said, what is the slide? For me, I just want to talk to you. Forget whatever is displayed on the screen. What is important to me is to get you ready enough, fired up enough, motivated enough to begin this journey with me, right? The real goodness happens after all of this week is gone, right? In the next few days, we're going to look very serious, doing all this professional, hey, look at this slide and look at these wonderful things. And I think on Thursday, we're going to wind down and have a bit of fun. But then Monday next week, that's where the real thing starts. So don't think too much about the slide you cannot see, a slide you can see. Don't worry about those. It's going to be when the real program starts that you should be worried, okay? If one signs up for cloud engineering initially, can one switch to data engineering track later on? Well, now this is it. For me, my answer would always be, you would have the ability to do so. Okay, I've lost connectivity on one of my devices. Hopefully, the other one keeps up. The answer for me would always be, I would give you the chance to do so. I don't see any reason why not. Okay, but there comes a time where you need to make up your mind. Okay, IT is a very wide field and is very deep either way you pick, either any section you pick to go into. If you want to go into data engineering, you can be there forever. You want to go into cloud engineering, you can be there forever. You want to go into, pick anything, even whatever you think is simple. I've had sessions with students where I'm talking about Windows, just Microsoft Windows, and people are struggling. You'll be surprised at how difficult it is to get a grasp of just Microsoft Windows. I've had sessions with students where we're just discussing browsers, Chrome, Firefox, right? Microsoft Edge, Brave, Epic. How many browsers out there do you know? Opera, Safari. And people are struggling. So if you out there, you're thinking, I want to pick data, I want to pick cloud. Okay, first few modules, 1, 2, 3, 4, come along. But as you start to get to module 5, please do make up your mind. It helps you. Okay, and I've had students ask me in terms of money. It's not just about the money. Anything you pick, you will get paid, sufficient amount of money for what you're doing if you have the skill and competence at the level you want to get paid. I have friends who are photographers and they earn a lot more money than I would ever dream of earning. Okay, I've had a friend flown out in a private jet into a country to take pictures at the height of COVID pandemic, right? So the thing with things like this, people kind of tend to want to make decisions on the basis of, oh, look, they're paying cloud engineers $1 million or something. Trust me, you'll be paid.
I don't know if anyone can hear me while we're waiting for Blessing's audio. Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, okay, we have Blessing now.
Audio should be back now.
Yes,
right.
It is back.
Okay. I do apologize, everyone. I do seriously apologize. We would fix this before the okay. So, right. So I was saying, don't make the decision on the basis of, if you look at the market, one is paying more than the other. Don't make it on money. both cloud and data engineers are being paid very, very well. Very, very well. I assure you that. Okay. So pick it on the basis of passion. What do you love to do? What do you enjoy doing? Okay. That's what I'll pick on if I were to be starting my journey today. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can get the questions back, Bolanle, but I don't think I've gotten it back.
Okay, I can help answer some of the questions. I can help put them out. Okay. Someone says, Muyiwa says, are the two programs separate, or are we taking them together? Because you mentioned those of you on the data engineering track.
So the two of them are separate programs with overlaps. Okay. So for example, everybody's going to learn Python. Apologies. For example, everybody's going to learn Python. Whether you're a cloud engineer or data engineer, you both need it. Okay. Everyone is going to learn the basics of networking, OSI layers, layer 1, 2, layer 7, all the way down. Okay. Everybody's going to learn about the 3 service providers in terms of how you access them. Okay. But only data engineers will be learning something like PostgreSQL architecture. Okay. Only cloud engineers will be looking at troubleshooting cloud formation. So there will be differences here and there, but there are 2 separate programs. Okay, just so you know, 2 separate programs with overlaps in content. Hopefully that answers your question. Next one, please, Bala.
Okay. Someone says, can you learn data engineering without knowing data analytics?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. When we start to look at the roles in data engineering, because what tends to happen is data engineering and cloud engineering really is a broad classification. Okay, there are roles within this classification. So there are people who refer to as data scientists, data analysts, data engineers, and so on. Okay. You don't need to know an awful lot of data analytics to be a data engineer in the traditional sense of it. Okay. You will get more details on all of this, but short and simple answer to your question is no, you don't need to. Okay. As a data engineer, your focus will be all about bringing the data to make it available to those who are going to actually run those analytics themselves. You don't need to be the one running the analysis. You will understand enough of it. Just the way you don't need to be a civil engineer to live in a property. Okay, you can live in a house. If the door is not locking properly, you can check why is the door not closing properly. You don't need to go and become a civil engineer because you want to go and buy a house. In similar fashion, you don't need to be so much knowledgeable in data analytics. You need to just know enough of what needs to be done there in order to be able to build, for example, your data pipelines that will bring the data to make it available for the analysts to do what they need to do there. Okay. Any other one?
Okay, yes. We have another. Okay, this one says, does CIL help successful graduates with internship placement?
I think OJ answered that question, right? Yes, indeed. We trust this program so much so that the majority of our talent in engineering comes from this.
Okay. Says, honestly, which is tougher to learn?
Can you hear me?
You're echoing. Can't hear you now.
Mute here. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay, so I've closed one of the channels. I'm going back to open it again. I'm on the redundant one. So what was the question, please?
It says, which is tougher to learn? I think data engineering or cloud, I guess.
Ah, goodness. Well, we get this question all the time. Neither of them is impossible to learn. Let me start with that. Okay. And they are both challenging in their own different ways. Okay.
it's what you put in determines what you get out of each of them. Okay, none of them is easier than the other. They both, I don't want to say they're both tough to learn because that's almost discouraging you, right? But they are both challenging to learn. Okay, they are both challenging to learn. This is why we put together this program. If we thought that it was easy to learn either, we'll probably just say to everyone, go and learn them, and when you're done, come, we'll employ you. Okay, they are both tricky and challenging. So none, in my opinion, is particularly easier than the other. Okay, they both have where you find things easy and where you find things tough. So be ready to give it your best. That's all. Okay.
Okay, we'll take a few questions before we wrap up the morning session. It says, is cloud engineering and cloud computing the same thing? The same.
Right. 1 second. Let me be sure which audio I'm using. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Fab. Okay. So cloud computing is a broad terminology that defines or attempts to explain computing using cloud services and infrastructure. Okay. So if I were to say to you cloud computing, I'll be covering everything, the entire category of everything in the cloud. So that will cover cloud engineering itself. It will cover data engineering. It will cover program management, project management, front-end management, anything at all that you're doing that demands that you use cloud resources. Okay, so don't forget that by definition itself, cloud computing is an on-demand use of computing resources that you don't own, you're using it from someone else. So it's kind of, think about it as you're renting computing resources and services from a different provider in order to achieve what you're trying to do. Okay, the whole world of cloud computing resulted from back in the days when you had to buy everything yourself. If you wanted to do anything, if you wanted to run a website, you go to the market and you buy your servers, you buy your routers, you buy your switches. But then came cloud computing, which allowed us to we didn't have to buy those things anymore. Okay, we just basically had to say we want to host a server, and as a result of that, we'll get it from a provider, and then we'll do what we need to do on it by connecting remotely into that server. So as a term, cloud computing will cover everything. It's the general term of everything we're doing. Okay, but cloud engineering itself is a specific subset where you're looking at engineering practices that has to do with how you create those cloud resources, okay, and how you create those services and how you manage them. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to run a website, I'll need a cloud engineer that will build me the infrastructure in the cloud required to host that website. I will also need some cloud operations team that when the website is running, they'll be able to monitor it and make sure that it's running as expected. Okay, so cloud engineering will be a subset of cloud computing. Hopefully that answers your question. More, please.
Okay, this question says, is there any point in time we'll have to pay either for tuition fee or something?
These people want to turn me to Jephthah. Can you see that? Right? You want me to make you a promise and then later down the road, I then end up breaking it. Look, this is the answer to your question. We are doing the best we can to keep Cohort 6 free of charge. Okay, so we've put a certain amount of budget out there. I mean, if you go and Google secure intelligence, you probably realize that we are probably not as big as Microsoft, neither are we as big as Amazon yet. Okay, so as of now, we run a very small budget, and we've stretched that budget across all of Cohort 5. We're stretching it again into Cohort 6. We're looking for partnerships, okay, to even keep it further free. But the program itself, to us, okay, has a cost. To you, is free, okay? So again, do not worry about any financial commitment on Cohort 6. We will keep it free, end to end for you. Is that clear enough? Okay, right. Either they can't hear me or that's super clear. I'm not sure which one it is. But Bolanle, if you can hear me, I hope that answered the question clearly.
I think my network also dropped off for a bit, so I don't even know if you can hear me, but I can hear
Yes,
you
I can
now.
hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. I believe I trust you've answered the question.
I hope so too. If not, I'll be happy to take it again another day.
Okay.
Today, probably something is happening somewhere that is making everybody's network this bad.
I honestly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can one
we'll just take.
There's a question here about can one commit working 8 to 5 p.m. It's too early for me to start showing you how we're doing this. But let me just drop a context to you right now. Where I am sat in our makeshift studio, where I'm sat talking to you right now, okay, there are 7 laptops, okay, and 4 tablets. We are all working whilst we're doing this. Okay, so you're talking 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. We are probably working 24 hours round the clock. So if the providers of the program are working this much to get the program across to you, trust me, you can do it. You just have to be ready to sacrifice here and there. Okay? Olanle, thank you.
All right. All right. I want us to take these last 2 questions, and I will I would have a quick 5 minutes to run through some of the questions that I think have been asked and they keep being repeated. Someone is saying, is coding required for data engineering?
Yes. Next question.
Okay. Is cloud engineering same as software engineering?
No. There are some similarities and there are some fundamentals. So if you're coming to this program as a software engineer and you want to become a cloud engineer, you will find some ease, some comfort in some of the concepts you need to learn. Okay, so you've already done some background work, well done you, but they are not the same thing. You can be a software engineer and you're not a cloud engineer. Okay, whilst there are overlaps and similarities in certain concepts that you can pick and choose, they are fundamentally different things altogether. So put it this way: if I put out 2 job descriptions and I'm saying I want to employ a software engineer or I want to employ a cloud engineer, they'll be totally 2 different things with some similarities across. Okay.
Okay. All right, Blessing. I would like to. I think some of these questions are just repeated, which will lead me to what I'm about to say. It's important that we join this session, as Blessing has rightly said. We all have, multiple devices open to be a part of this session. While it's free, your commitment, your time is very important. We're dedicating a lot of time to ensure you get this access, and it's important that you do the same. Okay, it's important you join early. See, we've all been struggling with network, and we're still here, trying to ensure this goes on. So we understand there are things, be beyond your control, but it's important that you put in the effort to be a part of it. Looking through the question and answer session, I can see a lot of the questions that are coming in now are questions that have been answered maybe once or twice this morning. This shows how important it is for you to be here. For those of us asking for recording of this session, you will not be getting a recording of this session because we will not be sharing a recording. Being here is important. You are able to ask your question, and you can see how important this section is because it's answering your question. It's allowing you understand the general overview of the program. So please, let's endeavor to join the session. The session has been pretty slim fitted, to be honest, to ensure that it doesn't take too much of your time. It's 1 hour 30 minutes in the morning and 1 hour 30 minutes in the afternoon, 3 hours, and for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and 1 hour 30 minutes on Thursday. So it's less than 15 hours for the entire week. It's important that you're able to dedicate this time. Attend the sessions to ask your questions. To answer questions on certifications as well, as Blessing and OG have mentioned earlier, there'll be a FAQ, at the end of this that answers all the questions that have not been answered on the course of the induction. I believe we'll answer all your questions, but in case you miss anything, we'll be able to answer that. Those asking for Slack channel link, if you were able to get an invite to this induction, you definitely got an invite to the Slack channel. That has been shared very much earlier. There's so many people in the Slack channel already. However, if you missed that invite, feel free to, send an email, reply to the an email reply to any of the emails you got, and we'll send you a Slack channel invite. But if you did get an invite to this session, then you got an invite to the Slack channel. You probably just missed it or didn't go through it properly. For those of us asking for duration, it's 6 months. As Blessing has said earlier, 6 months, minus public holidays and all that. Also for certification cost, I want to say this very clearly. A lot of people are asking, how much am I going to pay at some point? It's not that I'm trying to get some money out of it. The certification, like Blessing said, we're offering trainings, AWS, Google, Microsoft, and you're allowed to take a lot of certifications. We want to ensure that this program is accessible to some of us. So we will be offering discounts to some of the certification. It's not compulsory to, you get it from us or anything. It's just important that you get certified. But training you to get qualified and certified in your role. A lot of people are asking about job placements, helping you get this. How we can help you get this is ensuring that you go through the full course of the program, of the trainings, and you can also do this. You get qualified as well, get certified. These are the qualifications and steps required. So you can make your research, go online after this session, check how much these courses cost so you can start saving your money. And at some point, we can, give you access, we can help, offer you discounted certifications along the line. However, it's not a part of it's not saying, oh, okay, come and pay $20, come and pay $500 to do this. No, the program is currently free. It is free. If you get your certification, get it done. If you want to get it somehow, that's fine. Just to relieve the burden is how we will be offering you, why we'll be offering you these discounts at this point. What else okay. That being said, I really do not want to take any more of our time. I can see a lot of questions coming in. We will have enough time to answer these questions. In the meantime, you can engage with your colleagues in the Slack channel. I know a lot of us were here earlier to get the answers that some people are asking, and we will definitely be answering some of these questions again to ensure that we're all on the same page. We're so glad to have you here. We're so excited about this journey, and we believe this is going to be a successful session. Congratulations for being a part of this. To start with, the fact that you've taken this first step to register to be a part of this session is a plus for you. Okay, now that you've started it, we implore you to keep going, keep it up, and we will be here through the process to hold your hands through it all. On a final note, I should say this, that while we want to give you everything you need to succeed, it's important you do your homework, you do your research. There's some questions here that I believe that, a quick Google search would help with. We cannot, so I'd implore us to go online, make inquiries yourself, research, read. We cannot teach you everything. You're all in the tech space, coming into the tech space, cloud, data engineering. You would understand that we would give you a lot of materials, but it's also important that you do a lot of homework. So research. Okay, so there's some things here that will require your research. Thank you all for coming to the morning section, and we look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Do not bother about attendance. The platform we use already takes your attendance. As long as you joined, it has registered you already. So don't bother about, hey, what if I join and they do not notice? The system already notices that system knows that you joined. In short, it knows when you join and when you leave. Okay, so don't worry about it. It's automated. For those of us already asking on Slack channel, how do they take attendance? Your attendance has been taken. Jessica, your attendance has been taken. Thank you, everyone. Do have a good morning. See you back at the afternoon section. Please, let's try to join the session on time. Let's enjoy our break. Let's relax, take a break, stretch your legs, take water, research, prepare yourself, get excited, and as we go into the rest of the program. See you at 2 p.m. West African time. Thank you.